Well, welcome everybody to Ignite Humanity Live. I'm JBO and your host, and I am so thrilled and wild and wonderful and fabulous and feeling great today because we are talking about igniting humanity. That's right, we're making a big difference on the planet, sharing with each and every one of you about how you can ignite humanity in your life. And that's right, we all have the power to make a difference in humanity, and we do it one gesture at a time, one event at a time, one beautiful, blessed movement at a time. There's so many different ways to ignite humanity. But the truth is, it all starts with you. It starts with me. It starts with each and every one of us. It isn't this big, massive movement. It's what we call the ripple effect, these tiny little gestures that we do to instill goodness and love and camaraderie in one another. And then they go forth and create the same thing in someone else. And we do it through Ignite Moments. We talk about those special moments in our lives where something happened that really activated us and made us excited to do something different and to really take a decision and go for it in our lives. And we want to share those stories so you feel capable of doing the same thing. We want you to get up off the couch wherever you are and decide you're going to do something extravagantly, wonderfully beautiful just for you, and you get to decide what that is. It isn't my wonderful, it's your wonderful. It isn't my extravagant, it's your extravagant. But the truth is, we all have to believe that that's possible. And I've just got wonderful and extravagant on the mind today, so it's probably going to be some of our buzzwords, because the truth is, we all should be living in the center of our wonderful and our excitement. We all should be living in a way that makes us feel happy. And so many of us are feeling bombarded with other impacts and other things that are challenging us. And the truth is, we want to flip the switch so that every single day, every corner of the planet, everywhere we go, people are feeling inspired, feeling capable, and feeling truly able to ignite the lives of those around us. And that's what this show is all about. Well, the exciting thing about Ignite Humanity Live is we never make it boring. We never make it the same. And we do our very best to bring people from around the world who are doing incredible things from every corner of the globe. We don't just want the same. We want different. We want diversity. We want to hear unique perspectives. And today we have a guest coming to us all the way from Australia. We're so excited. That's right. Today, Lauren Jobson is an award-winning NLP master trainer, internationally certified matrix therapies master trainer and coach. And in the 16 years that she has trained NLP, matrix therapy, hypnosis, and now archetypal coaching. I'm struggling with that word. I'm going to ask her all about it. She has taught hundreds of individuals in Australia and says that she transcends age with her wisdom and guidance. So delighted to have her. She is also the author of a new book, Your Happily Ever After. She's doing great things, and we are blessed to have her on the show. Welcome, Lauren.
Woohoo, welcome. I feel blessed to be here. Thank you, JB.
Oh, thank you so much. Okay, help me with the word that I tripped over right out of the gate. What is this word?
Archetypal. So,
Archetypal. And what does it mean?
well, have you heard of the words archetype? So
Yes.
archetype is the best energy that we can have. It is the most ideal expression. So we like to work with it because it's then your best expression of your soul. So we love to help people find out their unique energies that they have, their unique essences that make up who they are when they're most themselves, they're most passionate, and hence most on purpose.
Well,
Because
that
when
is
we are,
exactly right what
that's
igniting
right.
humanity is all about. So I love this new word. So tell me more. How can I implement that into me? I mean, I'm like everybody else, good days, bad days, tough things,
Mm,
challenges. What can this modality do to sort of help me get through my day, live in the higher version of myself? Give me some examples.
beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. When you say like we all have ups and downs, absolutely. And so it's about really thinking about and tapping into when we feel most passionate. And if it could just be that tiny little thing. I love your message, JB, that it doesn't have to be, I'm going to use that word extravagant, for us to change our mood in a day. It could just be doing one little beautiful small thing for ourselves first, like going out into nature. Say one might find that when they tap into nature, they can just get back to themselves, because this is,
Mm-hmm.
it's about just coming back into your heart. So this modality has us understand, different energies that make us passionate, and find our spark again, and come back to what ignites our heart and to do more of that, because it just takes that little step, that first better feeling. And before we know it, we then start contributing again to the world. We might go and speak to that person and have a beautiful conversation.
And it doesn't take a lot. I really agree with you. Like, so many people feel like I don't have time for that. I'm so busy. But you and I both can agree it doesn't take a lot of times to take a breath, to take your shoes off and get some earthing going on, to close your eyes and just go within.
That's right.
There's always that time, and just a few moments can make a huge difference. Do you agree?
Absolutely. And I think it's discerning. So maybe cut away something then that's not working. Like
Mm.
probably put down the phone or turn off the TV, and then it would be easier too, just to connect with that little thing for yourself.
It's great. I was up this morning at 5:30. I love to get up at, sorry, 4:30. I love to get up at 4:30. And at about 4 o'clock this afternoon, I was like, I'm going to lay down for an hour. And I didn't even need an hour. I literally laid down for about 18 minutes and I just had a little time by myself. I turned everything off, put everything on airplane mode, just closed my eyes for 18 minutes. I don't even think I really slept, but it was just, I put my hand on my chest. One of our other guests told us, like, listen to your heart, try to feel your heart. It was just a really beautiful moment. And now here I am, all energized again. Let's keep going. Another 10 hours. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Fantastic. That's right. I love it. And I think we want to be real and let people know that we all have times where we just feel we need to have a lie down. Maybe our mind is not so positive, and that's okay. It's being human. But do look after ourselves. Like, do something for yourself is so important. Put yourself first, because when you put yourself first, it's most loving to other people too.
Yeah, talk about that, because some people, they always feel like they have to put everyone else first.
That's right. So a big message, because I teach a lot about self-love. And one of the big messages I have with self-love is that when we come from our heart and we make a self-loving decision for ourselves, and we do put ourselves first, because self-love does consider the consequences of our actions, it is always most loving to other people involved too, even if it is more on the long term, in a long-term way, in that it could mean that we feel we disappoint someone in the short term. But we do need to remember that's actually still most loving to them. For example, breaking up with somebody that you're not in love with, right? Like, breakups do happen in relationships. And say if that's a self-loving decision for someone to make because they're not in love with this other person, well, this is an example of how it's still most loving to the other person, even if they get heartbroken at first. The thing is, who wants to be in a relationship with someone who doesn't love them?
Right.
What breaking up allows this other person to do is to go and find someone else who will love them for who they are. And doesn't that other person deserve that? And that's a big example, but it's quite true.
Yeah, it's a really good example, and almost also like that negative self-talk that we have. It's like you have to break up with yourself, that mean part of yourself or that monkey mind part of yourself, because you wouldn't treat anyone else like that. Why are you treating yourself like that? It's really important to have positive self-love, self-language, all of those things. That's a very good reminder. Tell us a little bit about NLP, because I think that for some people, they don't know what that stands for, and they really don't know how does that apply to everyday life.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, so NLP stands for Neuro Linguistic Programming, and it really is the study of how our mind works, with a combination of how do we create our behaviors to get the specific outcomes we do in our life. And so it includes the understanding of what drives us as human beings, and how can we make changes in our thinking and in our behaviors that change our results in our world. It's also
Very
a
good.
sophisticated set of communication tools as well, and the way we communicate to ourselves and others.
Yeah, that's really powerful again, because how we speak to ourselves really is a driver in our lives. And of course, we are talking about igniting humanity. How are we driving our lives? Therefore, how are we signaling or leading the people around us? Can you give us some tips on how we can create better languaging for ourselves first, and then we can talk a little bit about family, friends, or kids?
Yeah, beautiful. Okay. So, excuse me, I first want to acknowledge that it's quite easy for us to default to negative thinking about ourselves. And what we want to understand about that is the human brain defaults to the negative for the higher intention and purpose of having love and connection with others. So, when we are having negative self talk, what we tend to be doing is analyzing, how could I have done better? How could I do it better in the future? And playing stories in our mind of like wishing maybe we were different and things like this, but for the purpose of belonging with others and having love and connection. So we want to just acknowledge our stories, because it's really just that. It's stories we play in our mind that are not true and tend to be functioning from times in our past when we were much younger and we had a lot less resources at the time. So we now need to know, as an adult, we have a lot more choice. And even with children, you can tell them that they're playing just stories in their mind. And acknowledging that, okay, we just want to have love and connection with others, and come back into our heart and start just reframing the stories and just going, do you know what? They're not true. It's that monkey mind that you said before. Uh, how can I change this in the future? Like, what could I say about myself? Imagining like you're talking to yourself like you would your best friend. It's this whole thing of, imagine that you yourself are your own best friend, because as you said, we wouldn't speak to other people that we love the way we can talk about, the way we talk about and to ourselves. So we just want to go, we all have negative self-talk. It's just a story. It's not true. There's such things called cognitive distortion. So there's like many different ways we can make up stories, like exaggerate, personify, like we think everything about the world is something to do with us, things like that. And we just go, okay, no, I'm going to do better. And it's forgiveness, it's self-forgiveness. It goes, I, maybe didn't respond in the way that I wanted to, and that's okay. I'll learn from that, and I'll do better next time.
You're
That's
going
what
to have
you.
a good laugh, Lauren, because usually in our home, when it's somebody's birthday, we'll sit around and we will be like, what's your favorite story about the birthday person? And each person in the family will tell a story that's like their favorite story around the birthday person. And it's always so funny because the story does get distorted.
Right.
And we always take an opportunity to like laugh and play and laugh about the story. And it's so funny because, especially with the kids, I'll say to them, that's not what happened, or that's not the timeline, or you weren't that old, or you weren't that young. Like, I have to like actually bring in some new data for them. But we always have a good laugh about it, and everybody feels more endearing and closer, because you're right, there's this distortion that happens in the story. And if I always find, like, we do it often at birthdays each year, it kind of like helps update some of the, like, stories that are like dangling around from the year. But it
Yes.
is a really neat way to make sure that the story is, as you said, like lighthearted and loving and caring, and in a way that makes us feel more endearing. And I think that's the power of storytelling and the power of neurolinguistic programming, is because we are connected to the word, and words have power. There's a
Yes.
lot of power in words, and I know that you agree with that.
Very much so. Absolutely. Like, instead of saying, I should do something, just say I could.
Mm.
Change your I can't do it into, well, I'll give it a go, and I can't yet. Just even adding some words that can just absolutely change your perspective as well. So it's perspective and forgiveness, and change your stories. Absolutely change your language and the words that you use to
That's
yourself.
really good advice. Now, let me ask you, there's something in your life that's allowed you to be passionate about this work and inspired you. Would you share a little bit about what was the ignition point for you that got you interested in this modality?
Beautiful. Yes, I was very lucky that for me, I found my life path, I feel, at a young age. I was a teenager who had chronic stomach pains. So I happened to have many years of feeling this hopelessness for my life being a certain way and not knowing how to make change. So this chronic pain just affected every area of my life. And after many years of getting all the physical tests done, it wasn't until I saw a therapist who allowed me to connect with my inner world and my mind. And I discovered I'd created a limiting belief about myself in regards to something in my childhood. And I let go of that belief. I cleared that belief in that session. I was able to connect with my little girl and change the story, really, right? Because this is where I was functioning from unconsciously. I wasn't aware of this belief. So becoming aware of it and then letting it go, it completely transformed my life and absolutely ignited my path, because I never then had a stomach ache again after that session of connecting with my little girl. And as a young teenager in high school, still vividly remember it 20 years ago now, just going, I want to tell as many people as possible that no matter what's happened in your life, no matter what meaning you've made about yourself according to how you experience the world, we can always make change. And even if it feels hopeless, it's okay. You know, there is hope. Keep the hope, and there's always possibility to make change, because it's the power of our mind and our connecting with our heart. And yeah, creating the meaning about ourselves that we get to choose. We get to choose. No matter what we've experienced, we can still love ourselves, because everyone is worthy of that love.
I talk a
Everyone.
lot about that, actually, that when something happens to us, as in where when we're young, we assign a meaning to it. You know, we just, our parents said this, our coach said this, our teacher said this, somebody
That's
on the
right.
playground said this, and we assign a meaning to it, that what they said means this. And we live
Absolutely.
our lives functioning from that meaning. And usually I call that an ignite impact moment. Something impacted you and caused you to think and have and assign a meaning to yourself. As you go through life, you live your life according to that meeting, until one day you have an ignite transformation moment that wakes you up and says, you know
Yes.
what, that isn't really the meaning, that isn't actually what was going on, that isn't really actually what that person meant. Or you say, that isn't really true about me, and you evaporate that meaning, or you change that meaning, you vanquish that meaning. And suddenly that does exactly what you said. Massive transformational change can happen instantly when we assign a new meaning to something. And so it's really a beautiful example. I love what you said. And I think there's many people out there who potentially have an illness or have an ailment. And when they understand the meaning behind it, they can really move through it. So thank you so much for sharing that story. There's someone probably listening, I know for a fact, because that's how the universe works. There's somebody listening to this show right now, and they want to know more about, how did you make the change? Once you made the awareness, how did you create the actions and the habits and the consistency to stay in that new realm of yourself?
Beautiful. Well, my big understanding and what I teach people, what NLP is about, matrix therapies and so forth, is once you connect with the truth inside of yourself, your body and then hence your mind can absolutely more easily and automatically, organically start to function from the truth. That, so like when I said I connected with my inner child, once she knew, okay, I'm no longer stuck back in the past believing that, I get to come and grow up to be me, who knows now that she is good enough and doesn't need to hold on to pain. It was organic for me to be able to not have that pain anymore. And then, yes, it's when you say, asking how do we make new change in our world? Well, it's that combination of, yeah, the organic functioning of the body starts to happen. And I think the best way to answer it is those small tweaks start to happen. You start one new little action, and that just changes how you think about yourself, which then changes the next thing that you do.
And they're the micro movements, the little ones that add on to and move the needle forward just in micro movements. A lot of people try to swing the pendulum so far the other way that they actually face failure or they self-sabotage. But it's those little movements, those little tiny movements that just layer upon each other that become so successful. I really agree with you.
That's right. Yes,
Mhm.
that's right.
Well, let's take a moment to get real personal. So, Lauren and I met under a very unique circumstance. Many of you know, because I've been sharing on the show, that I recently lost a very important person in my life, and a good friend and colleague, Miss Danya Safar, has passed away last month in a fire. And the fascinating and wonderful thing is Danya was also helping Lauren with some of her projects in Australia. And Lauren and I met after Danya's passing, just through Lauren was looking for her and found the news article that I had shared about the school we're building to support Danya. And Lauren and I immediately started texting each other, emailing each other, and sharing and trying to connect. And of course, we ended up meeting and connecting and sharing the beauty of Danya. And it's really created this beautiful friendship. And again, it's a unique situation, but I really wanted to bring it up because I want people to know that by sharing the story that I went through and sharing the story that you went through, and then sharing the story of Danya, it's really brought us together. We live on the other ends of the world.
Yeah.
We've never met each other personally, but we have this really common, beautiful bond and connection with each other based on this story, which is the entire precedent of igniting humanity. I tell people, when you know somebody's story, you will feel closer and more connected to them. Now, that's my side of the story. You tell your side of the story.
Oh, I love that, JV. Yes, I am so grateful to Dania and honor her life and the beautiful person she was, and she'll continue to be with her beautiful legacy. And it is just that beautiful synchronicity of me coming across your article and feeling connected to you, and knowing too that you have set up and helped set up this legacy with the school in Pakistan. So I look forward to contributing
Thank
even
you
more,
so
and
much.
seeing that over the years happen and manifest, which is very exciting. And it is, yeah, it's about connection to the right people at the right time, and the soul contracts that we have. And you reminded me of that. Is it's all soul contracts, so we can grieve here, and that can be very real, and we can feel that loss. And we all do pass, so we need to make the most of this life and treasure the ones that we've lost along the way, whilst making the most of what we have. And just the divinity of that, like the sacred divinity of the people that come into our life at the right moment. And if we can leave a legacy of us leaving our passions behind too. It's like, if I say something about Dania, is she was so passionate and went above and beyond with her contribution. So she's left behind some beautiful work simply because she was in her passion. So I'd say to more people, go and find what you're passionate about, because you do make a mark in the world just by being who you are.
You certainly do. And Danya helped you with your book. Tell us a little about your amazing book, Happily Ever After.
Thank you very much. I'm extremely proud and happy of it. It is about self-love. Your happily ever after refers to our sacred marriage within, the connection of our masculine and feminine natures. So it's got nothing to do with gender, but about our masculinity in terms of the outside world and getting outcomes and goals, whilst also honoring the feminine, which is our inner world of beliefs, emotions, and reflection and learning about ourselves. And when we marry these two together, we give birth to our new potential of ourself. And it's about self-love because of that sacred marriage within.
Well,
So
you're speaking our language. I think it's a book we need to have on our bookshelves here at our house, in our studio. Exactly. We need to have it over here, right here on our bookshelf. Thank you so much. How can people find your book? How can they get access to it?
laurenjobson.com or here intuitivehearttraining.com.au. Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah, terrific.
Thank you.
Well, I really want people to reach out and get a copy of your book and be able to work with you and share with you and learn from you. Such a beautiful kindred spirit. And I thank you so much. I know that Danya's watching over both of us and taking care of both of us and smiling gleefully that we are together and sharing this time and really, You know, Danya was a big part of Igniting Humanity. She was with me as we formulated the brand and the concept. She's really helped with a lot of everything around Igniting Humanity. So I just want to bless her and thank her for bringing us together so that we can share this message, so we can reach out to more people. And that really is the power of Igniting Humanity. Thank you so much for being on the show. Any final thoughts that you would love to leave people with?
Just go and live your passion and know that you're worth it. Yeah.
Amen.
Forgive yourself and you know that you're worth it.
I love it. Thanks, Lauren. Big hugs to you down under. Thank you so much and blessings.
Thank you.
I really do love talking to people around the globe because just a few moments, just a few short moments, you can learn so much about them. You can learn so much about their story, and they can give you so many gifts of wisdom. In the short 26 minutes that we've been talking to Lauren, we've learned so much about neuro-linguistic programming, about our little selves, our child, about meaning, about understanding, and about assigning new ideas about ways that we can care about ourselves, love ourselves, take care of ourselves, honor ourselves, and most importantly, show ourselves self-love. Because when we love ourselves and love ourselves truly for who we are, exactly the way we are, we show people around us how important and valuable we are, and that allows them to do the same. And so this huge ripple effect happens when people show that honoring and that loving towards themselves and themselves. And so I encourage you to do that today. If you haven't ever felt that big desire to decide to go in front of the mirror and tell yourself how much you love yourself, well, try it today. Go and check it out. Get in front of the mirror, tell yourself, I absolutely love you, and give yourself some big self-love and endearment towards who you are and exactly where you are, because there's always room for that amazing growth and igniting your life and igniting humanity. All right, well, we love having you on the show. If you are igniting humanity like Lauren, and if you're anywhere on the planet, well, we would love to showcase you. So reach out and fill out our type form so we can have you on the show, share what you're doing, talk about how you're igniting humanity, and showcase some of the work that you are excited about and you want to share with the planet. We'd love to have you. And so fill out that type form. If you would like to watch this episode or any of our episodes, go to our website and check out our very free 100% accessible to you portal where we have all of our episodes. And if you want to be a part of helping build the school in Pakistan, we are doing a memorial to Danya Safar. We've committed to building a school in her name where her parents are. She was in Canada on her own. Her family is back in Pakistan. And we absolutely want to build a school in her name to ignite the lives of children, ignite literacy, and have a place for her parents to visit and honor her legacy. And of course, she was a creative. She was a designer. She was a fantastic, amazing young lady, and she deserves to have her legacy carried on and at the same time ignite other children with the same ability to go out and live their life with so much pride and joy. Well, we love having you on the show. We love you being here. We love you watching. Reach out and let us know what you're thinking about the show, what we can do better, how we can improve, how we can ignite your life, and who you'd like to see on the show. Send us an email or go on over to our website, ignitehumanity.life, and see what we're up to and all the things that we're doing to ignite the planet. All right. Big hugs and kisses. Take care.
Now, more than ever, we need to come together to connect with one another. We need to feel the truth in who we are and let go of everything that's happened in the past. We need to empower every person on the planet and awaken hearts, enliven souls, come together, laugh, play, rejoice, connect, create, and love. It's time to ignite humanity. We want you to be a part of something that will impact the future for everyone. We want you to tell your story, share your Ignite moment, show people who you truly are. Be a part of igniting humanity and making a difference in the world and all of our futures.